Well, welcome back to another Bible read. We're going to be starting off at Exodus 38. We're almost at the end. So, Exodus 38. He made the altar of burnt offering also of acacia wood. 5 cubits was its length, and 5 cubits its breadth. It was square, and 3 cubits was its height. He made horns for it on its 4 corners. Its horns were of one piece with it, and he overlaid it with bronze. And he made all the utensils of the altar, the pots, the shovels, the basins, the forks, and the fire pans. All its utensils he made of bronze. And he made for the altar a grating, a network of bronze, under its ledge extending halfway down. He cast 4 rings on the 4 corners of the bronze grating as holders for the poles. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze, and he put the poles through the rings on the sides of the altar. To carry it with them, he made it hollow with boards. And he made the laver of bronze and its base of bronze from the mirrors of the ministering women who ministered at the door of the tent of meeting. And he made the court. For the south side of the hangings of the court were of fine twined linen, 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their bases 20, of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side 100 cubits, their pillars 20, their bases 20, of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the front to the east 50 cubits. The hangings for one side of the gate were 15 cubits with 3 pillars and 3 bases. And so for the other side, on this hand and that hand, by the gates of the court were hangings of 15 cubits with 3 pillars and 3 bases. All the hangings round about the court were of fine twined linen, and the bases for the pillars were of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. The overlaying of their capitals was also of silver, and all the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the screen for the gates of the court was embroidered with needlework in blue and purple and scarlet stuff and fine twined linen. It was 20 cubits long and 5 cubits high in its breadth, corresponding to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4. Their 4 bases were of bronze, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of their capitals and their fillets of silver. And all the pegs for the tabernacle and for the court round about were of bronze. This is the sum of the things for the tabernacle of the covenant, as they were counted at the commandment of Moses, for the work of the Levites under the direction of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. Bezalel the son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made all that the Lord commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab the son of Ahisamach of the tribe of Dan, a craftsman and designer and embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet stuff and fine twined linen. All the gold that was used for the work in all the construction of the sanctuary, the gold from the offering, was 29 talents and 730 shekels by the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver from those of the congregation who were numbered was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels by the shekel of the sanctuary. A bekah a head, that is half a shekel, by the shekel of the sanctuary, for every one who was numbered in the census, from 20 years old and upward, for 603,550 men. The 100 talents of silver were for casting the bases of the sanctuary and the bases of the veil. 100 bases for the 100 talents, a talent for a base. And of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars and overlaid their capitals and made fillets for them. And the bronze that was contributed was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. With it he made the bases for the door of the tent of meeting, the bronze altar, and the bronze grating for it, and all the utensils of the altar. The bases round about the court, and the bases of the gates of the court, all the pegs of the tabernacle, and all the pegs round about the court. Exodus chapter 39. And of the blue and purple and scarlet stuff they made finely wrought garments for ministering in the holy place. They made the holy garments for Aaron, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he made the ephod of gold, blue and purple and scarlet stuff, and fine twine linen. And gold leaf was hammered out and cut into threads to work into the blue and purple and scarlet stuff, and into the fine twine linen in skilled design. They made for the ephod shoulder pieces, joined to it at its two edges, and the skillfully woven band upon it to belt it on was of the same materials and workmanship, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet stuff, and fine twine linen, as the Lord had commanded Moses. The onyx stones were prepared, enclosed in setting of gold filigree, and engraved like the engravings of a signet, according to the names of the sons of Israel, and he set them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod, to be stones of remembrance for the sons of Israel, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He made the breastpiece in skilled work, like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet stuff, and fine twine linen. It was square. The breastpiece was made double, a span its length, and a span its breadth when doubled. And they set in it 4 rows of stones. A row of sardius, topaz, and carbuncle was the first row, and the second row an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond, and the third row a jacinth, and a agate, and an amethyst, and the fourth row a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in settings of gold filigree. There were 12 stones with their names according to the names of the sons of Israel. They were like signets, each engraved with its name, for the 12 tribes. And they made on the breastpiece twisted chains like cords of pure gold, and they made 2 settings of gold filigree and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings on the 2 edges of the breastpiece. And they put the 2 cords of gold in the 2 rings at the edges of the breastpiece. 2 ends of the 2 cords they had attached to the 2 settings of filigree. Thus they attached it in front of the shoulder pieces of the ephod. Then they made 2 rings of gold, and put them at the 2 ends of the breastpiece, on its inside edge next to the ephod. And they made 2 rings of gold, and attached them in front to the lower part of the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod, at its joining above the skillfully woven band of the ephod. And they bound the breastpiece by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, so that it should lie upon the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and that the breastpiece should not come loose from the ephod, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He also made the robe of the ephod woven all of blue, and the opening of the robe in it was like the opening in a garment, with a binding around the opening, that it might not be torn. On the skirts of the robe they made pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet stuff and fine twine linen. They also made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the skirts of the robe, round about between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate round about upon the skirts of the robe for ministering, as the Lord had commanded Moses. They also made the coats, woven of fine linen for Aaron and his sons, and the turban of fine linen, and the caps of fine linen, and the linen breeches of fine twined linen, and the sash of fine twined linen, and of blue and purple and scarlet stuff, embroidered with needlework, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And they made the plates of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it an inscription, like the engraving of a signet, holy to the Lord, and they tied it to a lace of blue to fasten it on the turban above, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Thus all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting was finished, and the sons of Israel had done according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses, so had they done. And they brought the tabernacle to Moses, the tent and all its utensils, its hooks, its frames, its bars, its pillars, and its bases, the covering of tanned ram skins and goat skins, and the veil of the screen. the Ark of the Covenant with its poles and the mercy seat, the table with all its utensils, and the bread of the presence, the lampstand of pure gold, and its lamps with the lamps set, and all its utensils, and the oil for the light, the golden altar, the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, and the screen for the door of the tent, the bronze star, and its grating of bronze, its poles, and all its utensils, the laver and its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars and its bases, and the screen for the gates of the court, its cords and its pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the tabernacle, for the tent of meeting, the finely worked garments for ministering in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his son to serve as priests, according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So the sons of Israel had done all the work. And Moses saw all the work, and behold, they had done it as the Lord had commanded. So they had done it, and Moses blessed them. Exodus chapter 40. The Lord said to Moses, On the first day of the first month you shall erect the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and you shall put in it the ark of the covenant, and you shall screen the ark with the veil. And you shall bring in the table, and set its arrangements in order, and you shall bring in the lampstand, and set it up, and set up its lamps. And you shall put the golden altar for incense before the ark of the covenant, and set up the screen for the door of the tabernacle. You shall set the altar of burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and place the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it. And you shall set up the court round about, and hang up the screen for the gate of the court. Then you shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle and all that is in it, and consecrate it and all its furniture, and it shall become holy. You shall also anoint the altar of burnt offering and all its utensils, and consecrate the altar, and the altar shall be most holy. You shall also anoint the laver in its base, and consecrate it. Then you shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tent of meeting, and shall wash them with water, and put upon Aaron the holy garments, and you shall anoint him and consecrate him, that he may serve me as a priest. You shall bring his sons also, and put coats on them, and anoint them, as you anointed their father, that they may serve me as priests, and their anointing shall admit them to a perpetual priesthood throughout their generations. Thus did Moses, according to all that the Lord commanded him, so he did. And in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, the tabernacle was erected. Moses erected the tabernacle. He laid its bases, and set up its frames, and put in its poles, and raised up its pillars. And he spread the tent over the tabernacle, and put the covering of the tent over it, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he took the covenant, and put it into the ark, and put the poles on the ark, and set the mercy seat above on the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle, and set up the veil of the screen, and screened the ark of the covenant, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he put the table in the tent of meeting on the north side of the tabernacle, outside the veil, and set the bread in order on it before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he put the lampstand in the tent of meeting, opposite the table on the south side of the tabernacle, and set up the lamps before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he put the golden altar in the tent of meeting before the veil, and burnt fragrant incense upon it, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he put in place the screen for the door of the tabernacle, and he set the altar burnt offering at the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and offered upon it the burnt offering and the cereal offering, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he set the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it for washing, with which Moses and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet. When they went into the tent of meeting, and when they approached the altar, they washed, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he erected the court round the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the screen of the gate of the court. So Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter the tent of meeting because the cloud abode upon it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Throughout all their journeys, whenever the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the sons of Israel would go onward. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not go onward until the day that it was taken up. For throughout all their journeys the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was in it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel. And just like that, done another book. Exodus down. Next up will be Leviticus. But that's going to wrap this one up. As always, Benjamin Jesslin. I love you both so much, and I hope and pray that God blesses you. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.